Good morning. Once again, we are going to delve into Weinhaus. We are looking at the allegations that are made. I keep using this particular story because it seems to have all of the allegations that are currently being thrown against the wall to see what sticks. What we're looking at today is we're going to look at the depositions of Marushak and Cunningham, the two FBI agents that people are contesting would, I guess, make it so that Weinhaus was somehow innocent. We're going to look at this portion. Mertens also testifies to the fact Mr. Weinhaus is wearing his holster on his right hip. This is what they are claiming that Mertens said. It wasn't on his hip, it was on the front side on the right. The front side on the right. The front side on the right. It wasn't on his hip, it was on the front side on the right. So this statement right here where he says that Mertens was testifying that it was on his right hip is in fact a lie. By the very language that Mertens states, it wasn't on his hip, it was on the front side on the right. So there you go. And it says that both of these testimonies have been proven to be a lie. And they cite the FBI agent. So you saw a little more of his right side. Yes, his right hip. Did you see a holster? No. Did you see a gun? No. So he didn't see the holster. He didn't see the gun. He saw a little more of the right hip. He didn't see. He's not claiming to have seen the front side on the right. Now, let's actually look at the depositions. Now, I am assuming that these haven't been edited, altered, or what have you. I received these in open office XML document form. They may have been edited. I can't tell you. You can get certified copies if you wanted to get the certified copy by contacting Court Reporting Associates and paying their fee for the certified copy, but I don't care that much because, believe it or not, these actually work just fine for me. So Cunningham, this is Agent Cunningham. Let's see what his testimony was. The guttermen arrived, they had to move, they appeared to be doing their job. He had been told that other people were going to arrive. I'm going to put this up so that you guys can you can download it if you want to read it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. As far as the high rate of speed, it was concerning to Cunningham. Was there an incline in the parking lot? He goes over it, and I think he said that there may have been a slight incline. Oh, what the hell? Why don't I just read the whole thing? All right, we're going to skip over the questions that don't really matter. All right. Okay. Were you contacted by the sheriff of Crawford County just to make it for our situation? Okay. Have you seen this connection with a complaint by Judge Kelly Parker about the video? No, we were contacted by the sheriff of Crawford County, just to make it for our situational awareness. Who did you speak with at the sheriff's department? The sheriff, Randy Martin. Okay. At what time did you believe Mr. Weinhaus had committed a crime? On the federal level or on the state level? This is Mr. Parks. This is the prosecution jumping in there to clarify. And then the defense attorney, the defense attorney says either you can just testify to your belief. He made some statements on there that were concerning. Whether or not that's going to rise to the level of a charge under the state level or the federal level, I couldn't tell you. Question. Okay, and you were involved in a visit to Mr. Winehaus's house on or around August 17th? Answer, no. Question. Okay, do you know a Sergeant Folsom? Answer, yes. Question, was he your contact person with the State Highway Patrol for this investigation? Answer, yes. Okay, and had you seen an August 27th YouTube video that Mr. Weinhaus made about Sergeant Folsom? Answer, I viewed several different postings by Mr. Weinhaus. I may have seen that one. Question, on the day of the incident, the September 11th incident, did you have reason to believe that Mr. Weinhaus had personally threatened Sergeant Folsom? Answer, I couldn't tell you. Question, okay. Did you know whether Mr. Weinhaus had made a Google Circles friend request of Sergeant Folsom? Answer, no idea. Question, Did you feel personally threatened by Jeff Weinhaus before you came to the gas station on September 11th? Answer, Jeffrey Weinhaus had no idea who I was. I had no contact with him. Question, you never met him before in your life? Answer, no. Question, did you have an objective or belief that he was a dangerous person before he came to the service station on September 11th? Answer, I had no idea that he'd be dangerous or not dangerous. We were there for a supporting role to assist on an arrest attempt. Question, okay, did you make any contact with Jeff to meet him at the service station? Answer, no. Question, did Sergeant Folsom make that to the best of your knowledge? Answer, yes. Question, and who chose that location? Answer, I think Sergeant Folsom did. Question, okay, did you have concerns about the location being a safe place to serve the arrest warrant? Answer, no. Question, okay, did you have any questions at that time why Sergeant Folsom hadn't chosen an alternate location such as Troop C or Troop I or a police station? Answer, no. Question, were you there as backup? Answer, correct. Question, okay, were you wearing a bullet resistant vest? Answer, no, but I had one in the vehicle. Question, and did you have a fear at that time that Mr. Weinhaus would bring someone else who might also pose a threat? Answer, we were told, and this conversation didn't happen between me and Mr. Weinhaus, but we were told through Sergeant Folsom that Mr. Weinhaus was considering on bringing someone else to that location with him. Question, okay. Answer, so whether he brought somebody or not, up until the fact that when he rolled or when he drove into the parking lot, I had no idea. Question, in your experience, is it normal procedure for a trooper who has been personally threatened by the subject on an arrest warrant to go and serve the arrest warrant? Answer, I have no idea. Question, no opinion on that? Answer, no, I mean it's up to the officer, up to the department, don't know. Question, okay, do you think that increases the level of danger for the officer serving the warrant? Answer, it can, but at the same time law enforcement has to do a job, and his job was to effect the arrest. Question, did you have particular concern for Sergeant Folsom's safety before Mr. Weinhaus arrived on the scene because of the prior history between Sergeant Folsom and Mr. Weinhaus? Answer, there's always a concern anytime you make an arrest, but as long as you follow the proper procedures, and you always have to be cautious, everybody you come into contact with, so, ... Question, okay, do you know, and I don't want you to speculate, but do you know if Jeff knew he was going to be arrested? Answer, I have no idea. Question, okay, did you have knowledge of Sergeant Folsom creating a ruse of... Answer, I'm aware of that, but as far as Mr. Weinhaus's perspective, I didn't know if he knew he was going to be arrested at that time. Question, so he might have believed in the ruse, might not have, you have no idea. Answer, no idea. Question, okay, did you know at the time if Mr. Weinhaus was recording the meeting at the gas station? Answer, no. Question, okay, do you now know, or do you know now? Answer, I learned that he was. Question, have you reviewed that wristwatch video? Answer, I have seen it. Question, okay, tell me, where were you and your colleague parked to serve as a backup at the service station? Answer, we were across the parking lot from the position of Sergeant Folsom and Corporal Merton's vehicle. Question, and how far a distance was that? And you can guesstimate if you want. Answer, my statement, I wrote 60 yards, it's approximately that distance. Question, was it an obstructed or unobstructed view? Answer, unobstructed view. Question, obstructed? Answer, unobstructed. Question, okay. On this service station side, there's a building, is there not? Answer, correct. In that building, there's a porch in front of the building, isn't there? Answer, correct. Question, and does the porch have columns? Do you remember? Answer, supports, yeah. Question, okay, and did the supports or the building obstruct in any way your view of Sergeant Folsom or his colleague? Answer, not where we were parked, no. Question, okay, and were you parked? You were waiting in your car? Answer, correct. And were you parked with your car pointed generally in the direction of where the troopers were? Answer, yes. Question, okay, how long did you wait between your arrival and Mr. Weinhaus's arrival? Answer, I couldn't tell you, I mean the exact time. Half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour approximately. Question, and were there other people at the site during the intervening period? Answer, when we first got there, there was no one there. And then a vehicle arrived with 2 individuals, and they were working on a guttering system on that overhang porch area, so they actually told us to move our vehicle, or our vehicle. Question, okay, and why was that? Answer, we were blocking the area where they were going to work at. Question, this is the porch overhang. Answer, correct. Question that we talked about. Answer, no. Whoops, answer. So we basically just backed up and we had a clear view of Sergeant Folsom and Corporal Mertens. There may have been another vehicle arrive at the parking lot. Question, okay, do you remember what type of vehicle it was? Answer, I think maybe a small truck. I believe. Question, did the gutterman or their vehicle, did that obstruct your view in any way? Answer, no. You said you backed up. Answer, correct. Question, how much further did you back up? Answer, distance-wise, I couldn't tell you, but to a point where we had a clear view of Sergeant Folsom and Corporal Mertens. Question, okay, were the guttermen in the truck then in between you and these troopers? Answer, off to the side, off to the right side. Basically backed up and positioned ourselves away from them, but having a clear view of their vehicle. Question, so you said the gutterman asked you to move? Answer, correct. Question, did you have any other conversations with them? Answer, no. Question, did you know at the time who they were? Answer, no. Did you have any concerns as to your safety or the trooper's safety from the guttermen? Answer, they appeared as if they were doing a job. Question, did you have any concerns that Mr. Weinhaus had friends or allies lurking in the background area somewhere? Answer, again, you always have to be concerned in these situations, either as the arresting officer or support. We were told by Sergeant Folsom that Mr. Weinhaus was apparently going to ask other individuals to come with him. So we had no idea who were his friends and who were not his friends, or who may or may not arrive to the location with him. Question, okay. But you didn't have a heightened level of concern just based on these other civilians who were at the gas station. Answer, the ones who were there in the parking lot, no. They appeared as if they were doing their job. Question, what did you observe of Mr. Weinhaus's vehicle when he pulled into the service station parking lot? Answer, he drove into the parking lot, made a large circle, and parked near Corporal Mertens' vehicle. Question, okay. And from where he entered this parking lot to where Corporal Mertens was that on an incline or level? Where he stopped the Answer, where he stopped the vehicle? Question, correct. Answer, it may have a slight grade to it, you know. Question, did the manner in which Mr. Weinhaus's vehicle entered the parking lot and came to a stop cause you any heightened concern? Answer, he came in at a relatively high rate of speed. And again, it happened so fast, he came in at a high rate of speed, did a big circle, turn, and stopped his vehicle. I had no idea what his intentions were. Question, was there something objectively threatening to you from the way he operated his vehicle? Answer, the speed he came in, my initial concern was I thought he may have even tried to ram the highway patrol vehicle. Question, okay. Answer, but he passed it, then he came to a stop, so ... Question, did you have your weapons drawn at this time? Answer, no, we were still seated in the vehicle. Question, and how good's your vision? Answer, very good. Question, I notice you have glasses there. Are those just for reading? Answer, reading glasses. Question, so you don't need glasses to see a distance? Answer, no. Question, were you using binoculars or any type of equipment? Answer, no. Again, we're 60 yards away, so ... Question, fair enough. And do you have any concerns about how Mr. Weinhaus had parked his vehicle once he came to a stop? Answer, no, not the way he parked his vehicle. Question, in fact, if Mr. Weinhaus had thought he was going to pick up computer equipment, that might have been a reasonable way to park, do you think? Answer, what his intentions on how he parked the vehicle, I can't say. Just that he entered the parking lot at a high rate of speed, and then he passed the highway patrol vehicle and came to a stop, so ... Question, just so we're clear, the rear of his vehicle is facing the troopers once he came to a stop. Answer, the rear of his vehicle was facing the troopers, the front of their vehicle, yeah. Question, so the rear of his vehicle is facing the trooper's vehicle, and the trooper's front of the vehicle, yeah. Question, were your windows up or down in the car? Answer, I think they were partially cracked. Question, okay, when Jeff got out of the car, could you hear any conversation between him and the troopers? Answer, no, I could not. Question, could you hear just noise, generally, of the conversation, but not words? Answer, no, I could see that there's a conversation taking place, though. Question, but you couldn't hear it? Answer, correct. Question, you couldn't hear any yelling? Answer, no. Question, and you don't have any experience of whether the speech was animated and excited? Answer, no. Question, or slow and friendly banter-like? Answer, no. Question, and when Jeff got out of the car, what did he do? In the sense, did he get up and stand still, or did he get up and move and walk? Answer, he got out of the vehicle, he walked towards the direction of Sergeant Folsom. Question, okay, and what was the pace of his walk? Answer, he was walking fairly quick. Question, okay, did you view his walking towards Sergeant Folsom as threatening initially? Answer, no. Question, okay, did you observe a firearm on Jeff? Answer, no. Did you observe a holster on Jeff? Answer, correction. Afterwards, I saw the holster, after it was taken off Jeffrey on the ground. Question, afterwards, you say after the shooting. Answer, correct. but when he came out of the vehicle, I did not see Jeffrey with. I did not see the front of Jeffrey's waist. The only portion I saw was the way he was standing towards me. He had his back to me, but his right side was bladed, and I could not see in front of his waist. I just want to remind everybody what we're talking about. Front side on the right. Question, so you saw the back of him. Answer, the back, and then again, his right side was bladed towards me, so I saw basically his right buttocks cheek, along a line like that, indicating. Question, and you didn't observe, I'm going to stand up here and touch my right waist area. You didn't observe a gun or a holster there. Answer, no, I didn't. But again, when I say the right side was bladed towards me, it would be like if you had your hand, you move it back more so, like right there. That's the area that I saw, indicating. So it's more the back right area. Answer, correct. Question, more than the side right area. Correct. Question, and you can see the front right area by the hip bone there. The front right area by the hip bone there. Answer, I could not see that at all. Whoopsie. Okay, the question. Okay, and where were Jeff's hands when he initially got out of the car? I don't recall. Answer, I don't recall. Question, okay. Answer, they were not, he was walking, so whatever motion you're walking. Question, so he might have been just swinging them a little bit? Answer, yes. Question, what one does when one walks? Answer, correct. Question, and did you see Sergeant Folsom at that time? Did you have a clear view of Sergeant Folsom as Jeffrey approached him? Answer, yes. Question, okay. Did you have a clear view of Corporal Mertens? Answer, I do not recall Corporal Mertens. Question, is it possible that he was partially concealed by the vehicles, Corporal Mertens? Answer, he may have been. I distinctly remember Mr. Weinhaus, then Sergeant Folsom. Question, which individual were you focusing on out of those two? Answer, both of them. They came together, so I could see both of them. Question, and did Sergeant Folsom have his gun drawn? Answer, initially he did not know. Question, he did not. Okay. And then how long between when Jeff got out of the car and when Sergeant did, how long a period was it between when Jeff got out of the car and Sergeant Folsom drew his gun? Answer, it seemed like seconds. I saw that. Question, how many seconds? Guess, roughly. Just 5, 10, or like 30, 40? Answer, it wasn't that long. So it was just seconds. Moments to me, I didn't have a stopwatch on, timing nothing, but it seemed like it happened pretty quick. But he got out of the vehicle and he walks towards Sergeant Folsom, and then Jeffrey Weinhaus, had his hands in the front of his waistband, indicating the part of his waistband that the trooper can't see, remember, because he could only see the back butt area. Question, you said before you said he had sort of moving them by his side, sort of in a normal walking gesture. Answer, well, he's walking from the vehicle, so he's approaching Sergeant Folsom walking normally. Then I saw that he had and then his hands went to the front of him. Okay, or question, okay. When his hands went to the front of him, was this before, at the same time, or after Sergeant Folsom drew his gun? Answer, we'll put this in perspective. He gets out of the vehicle and walks towards Sergeant Folsom. Then there's a conversation. His hands are in the front of his waistband. The conversation's going on. Question, how long were his hands in front of his waistband? Answer, I don't know. Again, he walks from the vehicle towards Sergeant Folsom and he stops. Question, okay, so he comes to a stop. Answer, comes to a stop. And then there's a conversation going on. But while they're having, Jeffrey Weinhaus has his hands in front of him. Question, okay, so he put his hands in front of him at the same time that he stopped? Answer, I couldn't tell you. Question, okay. Answer, I just remember him standing there with his hands in front, and there's a conversation going on between Sergeant Folsom and Jeffrey Weinhaus. And then seconds later, I see Sergeant Folsom. He puts up his right hand, draws his weapon with his left hand, and then steps back, and then there's shots fired. Question, you say Sergeant seconds later. Was that seconds after Jeff stopping? Answer, the time frame, it happened real quick. I couldn't tell you how many seconds. When he stops, there's a conversation taking place. Jeffrey Weinhaus has his hands in front. Again, the conversation takes place. Question, sure. Answer, and that's when Sergeant Folsom raises his right hand, draws his weapon, steps back to his left, and then shots fired. Question, and then what happened to Jeff after the shots were fired? Answer, Jeff, he fell to the ground. Question, how did he fall to the ground? Answer, he just fell to. Question, did he turn and fall one way or the other? Answer, I couldn't tell you. Question, couldn't tell me. Okay, was he blown away? Did he just? Answer, no. Question, excuse me. go flying through the air? Answer, no, he just fell. Fell to the side, fell to his, I think his right side. Question, and what happened to his arms, his hands? Answer, he was handcuffed. Question, okay. But you said before the shots were fired, he had his hands in front of his waist. Answer, uh-huh. Question, is that correct? Did you ever see a gun before the shots rang out? Answer, no, I didn't. Question, before the shots rang out, did you ever see a holster? Answer, no. Question, did you ever see movements by hands up or down? Answer, I did not. I remember seeing hands in front. Question, okay, do you recall any movement by the left arm? Answer, no. Do you recall any movement by the left arm up in the air? Answer, hands were never in the air. Question, okay, were they ever raised to shoulder length? Answer, no, they were not. Question, okay, and then the shots rang out. Answer, correct. Question, and what did you do? Answer, got out of the vehicle. Question, okay, did you approach Jeff Weinhaus? Answer, yes. Question, rapidly? Answer, yes. Question, okay, did you draw your gun at that point? Answer, the gun was drawn. Question, did you have concern that there were other persons in the area who could be a danger? Answer, yes. Question, did you sweep the area visually? Answer, yes. Question, did you have your gun pointed at anyone, or was it pointed towards the ground? Answer, may have been pointed in the direction of some individuals in the front of the store just until we identified who they were. Question, the gutterman, for instance. Answer, and then there were people inside that I don't know when they arrived. There's another individual, 2 individuals inside the store that came out. So I had no idea who they were. Until I identified who they were and they knew who we were, that's when we secured our weapons. Question, at the time, did you know whether or not Jeff was still an active threat? Answer, no, he was handcuffed. So, question, oh, he was? Answer, yes. Question, did you observe who handcuffed him? Answer, it was Sergeant Folsom. Question, and then you said earlier you observed the gun and or the holster after the shooting. Answer, I observed the holster. It's a green colored holster that Sergeant Folsom took off and placed it some distance away from Mr. Weinhaus. Question, where on his body was it before Sergeant Folsom took it off? Answer, I just remember the gun being thrown on the ground. I assume it came from his waistband, front waistband. I didn't see that though. I didn't see that. Question, you would assume because? Answer, because we were exiting the vehicle and ran towards Sergeant Folsom and Mr. Weinhaus, and then my job was to do a perimeter security. So I turned my direction from Weinhaus and started focusing my direction on those individuals by the front of the store. And then while looking around, I see this gun being placed behind or out of the immediate area of Mr. Weinhaus. And again, that's when not gun, it was a holster, a green colored holster. So, question. And so you didn't observe Sergeant Folsom, where on Jeff's body Sergeant Folsom removed the holster from? Answer, no. But again, I can assume that you can see around. When he's handcuffed, you can see around or wherever his backside. I didn't see anything on his backside when I was in the vehicle. Didn't see anything on the back right hip. So, question, are you familiar with the type of holster? Answer, I just saw it on the ground. I don't know the specifics about it. Question, okay, have you inspected it since then? Answer, no, I didn't even pick it up. Question, okay, did you ever hear or see any commands by Sergeant Folsom for Jeff to get down? Answer, no, again, I couldn't hear the conversation taking place. Question, sure, and you were about 60 yards away at this time? Answer, correct. Question, so you think you were a little closer than 60 yards before the gutterman asked you to move your car? Answer, yeah, we backed up and went to the left a little bit to get out of their way, and then at the same time see a clear view of the highway patrol vehicle. Question, okay. And then there was an investigation of the shooting by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Answer, correct. Question, and Sergeant Perry Smith conducted that investigation. Answer, yes. Did he talk to you? Answer, I talked to you. Question, Corporal Ashby. Answer, correct. Question, did you ever talk to Sergeant Smith? Answer, just in casual conversation when he arrived. Question, okay. Answer, I don't remember. I don't think he ever interviewed me. Or question, did you ever talk to Lieutenant George Knowles? Answer, just casual conversation when he arrived. Question, okay, but did you ever review any reports he wrote? Answer, no. Question, okay, you've reviewed both the typewritten statement and the handwritten document before today, and you got a chance to look at them here a little bit today. Answer, yes. Question, is there anything you changed in those documents? Answer, no. Question, do you feel truthfully, blah, blah, blah. And then he has them draw and indicate where people were at the time, etc. So as you can see, this is not going to exonerate Mr. Weinhaus at all. Mr. Weinhaus's hands were at the front. The holster, according to Mertens, was at the front. It could have been going down exactly like Sergeant Folsom said. And then the Marushek one is even better, I think. Well, it's worse for Mr. Weinhaus, I should say. It's basically the same kind of scenario. Let's see. Uh, and relative question, okay, and relative to where Jeff entered the parking lot to where Sergeant Folsom was that on incline, do you recall, or was it level? Answer, I think it was a fairly level parking lot. Question, okay, maybe there was an incline, but if there was, it would have been, answer, the grade would have been very minimal. In the actual trial, the defense tries to, every single person who was there says that Weinhaus entered at a high rate of speed, and they were concerned by the high rate of speed. They thought he might be ramming them. Let's see where it says it in here. I'm not going to read this whole one again. I noticed it was faster than I would expect. That's it. Did it raise the threat level of Mr. Weinhaus to you at the time? Answer, are you asking an opinion? Question, I'm just saying, was your concern for your safety or the trooper's safety raised by the speed of Mr. Weinhaus driving? Answer, minimally. So yes, it was concerning, at least minimally. So Marushek says that that the way Weinhaus approached Folsom was heightened the threat level because he made a beeline faster than a normal canter. He saw the back of the body only. He saw the back, maybe 10% of the right of his back, so the back of him. Did you see the left of his body? No. Did Mr. Weinhaus come to a stop at any particular point during his walk? Yes. Okay, and when he came to a stop, did he change? In terms of his stance towards, did he turn around? Answer, he did not turn around. Question, okay, are you familiar with the expression ablative position? Answer, yes. Did Mr. Weinhaus assume ablative position? Answer, he did tilt, I will say, blade a little. It would be to my right, it would be to his right. Question, so you saw a little more of his right side? Answer, right hip, yes. Question, did you see a holster? Answer, no. Did you see a gun? No. And could you hear Mr. Weinhaus? No. Could you hear could you hear any general conversations noises, but not the words themselves? No, I could not. Did you hear any yelling or any shouting? No. Were your windows down? Answer, my windows were down approximately 5 inches. The fact that you couldn't hear the conversation, did this concern you? No. Did not see it drawn. Did never draw his gun out until the firing. Did you ever view what Sergeant Folsom was doing with his hands or arms? Yes, I could see over Jeff's shoulder. I'm sorry, Mr. Weinhaus. He was holding, it looked like some kind of folder in his hand, and it would be in his right hand. I saw it in the air. I did see at that point there was a conversation taking place from what I can tell. Do you know what Jeff Weinhaus is doing with his hands and arms prior to the shooting? Answer, no. Question, okay. Answer, I did not see his hands. Question, where were his hands? In the front of him. Question, did you see any sudden movement by Mr. Weinhaus's arms or hands? Answer, I saw a sudden movement by his elbow. Okay, which elbow? Answer, right elbow. And where was this in time related to the shooting? Answer, seconds before or milliseconds before the shooting. Question, and it was only the right elbow? Answer, only the right elbow. Did you ever see Jeff's left arm or hand move? Answer, I could not. Left arm was mostly completely in front of his body. Did you ever see his left hand or arm go up to his shoulder level? Answer, no. Did you ever see it go up in the air? And no. Do you recall how much time passed between Mr. Weinhaus's Jeff's right elbow moving and the shooting? Answer, second. Very brief, very brief. And once the shooting began, what happened to Mr. Weinhaus's body? He rotated and fell backwards. Do you remember whether he rotated to his left or his right? Answer, I don't recall. Did you see a gun in Mr. Weinhaus's hands? No, go ahead. Did you see where Mr. Weinhaus's hands were located once he went down? Answer, yes. Okay, tell me about that. His hands were underneath his body. Okay, when I approached. And where were they underneath his body? Right on the stomach. And he was face down, lying down on his belly more or less? Yeah, more or less, twisted. And did you, when the shooting started, I would imagine that your concern for everyone's safety became raised, correct? Did you exit your vehicle? Yes. Did you draw your weapon? Yes. Did you start to approach Mr. Weinhaus and Mr. Folsom, both Agent Cunningham and myself? And were you concerned for your safety as other persons in the area? Yes. They might have been a threat, correct? Did you do a visual sweep of the area? Yes. Okay, and you were doing this visual sweep, were you observing Sergeant Folsom and Jeffrey Weinhaus? Answer, secondary concern was Sergeant Folsom and Weinhaus. Question, did you believe that Jeffrey Weinhaus may still be a threat once he went down? Answer, unknown at that point. During the approach, I had no idea. Question, if he was, he had only one of many possible threats at that point. Answer, correct. Did you ever see a gun or holster? Yes. Okay, when you see it, Sergeant Folsom was in the process of removing it from underneath Weinhaus's body. When I made the approach, I had no idea what weapon was involved at that point. Gun. I had to get it removed. He tries to get his hand out from underneath Jeff's body. At that point, I see an olive drab holster and a weapon in it. You saw the weapon in it? Yeah, I believe it was a black automatic. It looked like to me, but split second seeing it. How much of the weapon did you see? Blah, blah, blah. It was underneath him. It took a while to get out. I do recall that. Could have been on the left-hand side. To my knowledge, I don't know. I'm sorry. Anything else? You said you saw a right elbow movement. How did the elbow move? Can you describe it? Yes. Back and up, back and up. Do you see the elbow go down? No. The elbow went back and up like he was drawing a gun. Back and up. Do it yourself. Move your elbow back and up. It's like you're drawing a gun. So you can see why this would not have been terribly helpful to the defense. You can see why the defense would not have put these two FBI agents on the stand because, number one, they don't eliminate any of the elements of the crime. They're not saying that Weinhaus wasn't drawing his gun. They're saying that they couldn't see what he was doing. The holster was on the front hip, the front of the hip. They could only see the back. One of the agents saw the right elbow move. So it just is not helpful. It does not do anything to exonerate Mr. Weinhaus. So those are the depositions of Marushek and Cunningham. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.